Have you ever watched something that looked completely normal, but deep down, you could feel something was wrong? That's exactly what people said after seeing the clip recorded moments before Charlie Kirk was killed. In the video, a man in a black hoodie raises his hand. It looks small, almost harmless, but the timing is strange. Just a second later, Tyler Robinson, the accused shooter, stiffens up. His body language changes. He glances sideways and his breathing becomes uneven. At first, everyone thought Tyler acted on impulse, a sudden burst of anger or confusion. But now, investigators are starting to wonder if this was ever spontaneous at all. Because that single movement, that hand signal, might have been the trigger before the trigger. Some witnesses have come forward saying they noticed quiet coordination among people near the scene. They weren't shouting. They weren't panicking. They were watching, calmly, almost like they knew exactly what was about to happen. One eyewitness told investigators there were signals, not random gestures, clear signs like someone was giving directions. It's easy to brush that off as paranoia until you realize multiple camera angles caught similar movements from different people at the same moment. Every angle lines up, like a silent choreography no one wants to explain. And then there's the part that raises even more questions. According to leaked information from inside the investigation, at least 3 individuals who were close to the area vanished immediately after the shooting. Their identities remain undisclosed, their connection to Tyler unconfirmed. So the real question might not be why Tyler pulled the trigger, but who wanted him to. Because if the evidence keeps pointing this way, it may prove that the story everyone thought they knew was only half the truth. Right after the gunshot, chaos took over. People screamed, ducked, and ran in every direction. But when investigators replayed the footage in slow motion, what stood out wasn't the sound of panic, it was the silence before it. A deep, heavy pause that lasted less than 2 seconds but felt intentional. In those 2 seconds, Tyler Robinson didn't move like someone who had just snapped. He moved like someone who was waiting for a moment, a signal, or a sign that only he could recognize. One retired detective described it best. It's what we call a hesitation gap. The mind pauses because it's following orders, not instinct. As police tried to control the scene, several witnesses noticed something odd. People who were standing near the shooter moments before suddenly disappeared when the chaos broke out. No one saw them flee. No one could even describe their faces clearly. It's as if they were there and then they were. For days, online forums exploded with theories. Some said Tyler had an earpiece, others claimed he was drugged or manipulated. But the FBI didn't respond to any of it, not a single comment. Then came a quiet update that changed everything. A federal investigator confirmed that surveillance footage from a nearby building had captured 2 unidentified individuals leaving the area just before Tyler was detained. Their faces were partially covered. Their direction matched the escape route of someone who clearly didn't want to be seen. Still no arrests, no names, just silence. And that silence began to speak louder than the evidence itself. Even people who once believed the official story started to question it. Was Tyler really acting alone? Or was he just another pawn in a much bigger game? Because when you study that hesitation, that 2-second pause before the shot, it doesn't look random. It looks like obedience, like a man following an unseen command. If that's true, then the real story isn't about a single man pulling a trigger. It's about what or who told him to. A week after the shooting, something surfaced online. Not through the news, not from the police, but from an anonymous account that posted a 37-second clip titled, Angle 2, Unreleased Security Feed. At first, it looked like ordinary surveillance footage, grainy, muted, time-stamped. But when you looked closer, it told a story completely different from what the official report claimed. The clip showed the moments leading up to the gunfire. Charlie Kirk was mid-sentence, The audience was calm. And then, a guard on the left side of the stage turned his head sharply toward the balcony. 4 seconds later, another guard lowered his radio. He didn't speak, he didn't move, he just froze. Then, for exactly 4 minutes, nothing happened. No alert, no warning, no change in posture from the security team. And then the first shot. Those 4 minutes became the center of the investigation. 4 minutes that were never mentioned in the official statement. 4 minutes that didn't appear in the public video released that night. Why was that angle missing? Why were the timestamps off by exactly 240 seconds? When journalists tried to ask, officials said the footage was under review. But anyone who saw it knew that clip shouldn't have existed unless someone inside the system leaked it. Some experts called it a chain of silence. Every layer of protection, the contractors, the university security, the private detail, seemed to collapse in the same instant. It wasn't confusion, it was synchronization. Like everyone paused at once. That's what scared people the most. Because hesitation can be human. But coordinated hesitation, that's something else. And when the truth starts coming from leaks instead of leaders, you begin to wonder who's protecting the truth and who's protecting the lie. When investigators pieced together the timeline, one detail kept surfacing: those missing 4 minutes. According to the official dispatch log, the first emergency call was recorded at 6:48 p.m., but the leaked footage, stamped 6:44, showed clear signs that someone noticed something long before the shooting began. A man in a dark suit, wearing an earpiece, touches his radio, lips moving, but no audible alert is heard. He looks to his left, hesitates, and then lowers his hand. Seconds later, the shot echoes across the hall. That's not just bad luck, that's a breakdown. And in high-level protection, a breakdown this clean doesn't happen by mistake. Every major security event runs on layers. The university guards handle the perimeter. Private contractors control access. Personal detail watches the principal, in this case, Charlie Kirk. And above them all sits the coordinating firm, managing the entire chain of command. But here, the problem: when one layer freezes, the others follow. Nobody knows who's supposed to move first. Nobody wants to act without orders. And that's how accountability disappears, in the space between knowing and doing. After the video leaked, the responses were careful, almost scripted. Officials said the footage was being verified. The security firm refused to comment. The university released a short condolence statement. No mention of delays, no mention of silence. Meanwhile, people online demanded answers. Clips circulated everywhere, dissected frame by frame. Hashtags trended, petitions rose. But the mainstream coverage stayed quiet. They called it a possible procedural lapse. Not what it truly was: a failure of protection. Because the truth is, the footage doesn't need narration. It shows everything. The guard who looked too early. The one who didn't move. The radio that never came up. The hesitation that cost a life. Maybe it wasn't conspiracy. Maybe it was fear. But when your job is to protect, fear has a price. And this time, that price was Charlie Kirk's life. So the question remains: who knew and who stayed silent? Because silence is not innocence. It's a decision. And once the shot is fired, silence becomes its own form of guilt. If you've watched this far, don't let this story fade. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What do you think those guards saw? Was it confusion or something deeper? Subscribe now, share this video, and keep the conversation alive. Because justice doesn't start in courtrooms. It starts with people who refuse to stay silent. Stay curious, stay aware. And remember, the truth doesn't die in noise. It dies in silence.